What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 32 of the Uncommon Line podcast. Mark, we are back here at Texas Gun Experience, and we kind of got a cool episode today. Woo-hoo. So a lot of people were requesting an episode just us two. I guess we're kind of cool. I don't think so. I mean, we're just two dudes.
Take me out of my comfort zone. Just have to talk more.
I know. Mark's going to have to talk more. So we thought we'd just come to you today before our next guest and just have an episode with us two. And then we pushed out something on social media because we don't really know what to talk about ourselves. Like, hey, cool, send in some questions. So we got a lot of cool questions that I think is going to take up plenty of time and content just because they were kind of unique questions. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into some of that. But first off, we got to thank Texas Gun Experience for having us back here today. Always a good time being here, starting to feel like home. This place is absolutely incredible. Store's busy today. We talked about having an episode where we just sit here and watch all the people here buying guns.
Yeah, man, because there's so many different types of people just coming here. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So really cool people, really cool experience here. Y'all need to come check them out. Texas Gun Experience in Grapevine, Texas. Go to their social media. They got a bunch of different locations, but I highly encourage you to come here. If you're a business, if you're a company, if you just want to come shoot, an everyday citizen who wants to get their CHL, anything and everything, this is the place to come. You want to rent the VIP room for an event. You want to have a corporate meeting here in their huge desk. I wish I could take the camera and reverse it around how big this, not desk, but table is. It's massive because we're in their boardroom, awesome. Which is above everything else. So thank you, Texas Gun Experience, for having us. Mark, we've got a new sponsor of the show. We mentioned it on social media, but this is the first episode that they're officially sponsoring.
I wonder who it could be.
You'll see in front of us some of the various items that Mr. Andy Lang at Leatherwood Distillery sent us.
Andy the man.
Andy the man. It's still, I guess it's not too early. I guess we could have a sip.
Yeah, okay.
A small sip. All right, we're going to have a small sip just for Andy. Well, I've only got one open, so we're doing the Edelberry.
Sure.
Okay.
You do you. I'll drink whatever. It doesn't matter.
So,
oh, Lord have mercy.
Exactly. This is like an Andy style right here.
It is like Andy
right?
style.
No cup.
Dude, he should name something that Andy style.
Yeah, he really should. So this is Leatherwood Distillery. They're in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Huh? Pleasant View. I'll correct that. Anyways, it's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Awesome place. We went there. We did an episode with him, episode a few back. Really cool what he does for the military and giving back everything they do from Green Beret Foundation and just his location there. And just does a lot of cool stuff for the military.
Oh, yeah. And he's a big WWE guy.
Yeah.
I was like, he's got a karaoke night. He hosts his wrestling matches there. He's got like something every weekend. He's always doing something at that bar.
Yeah. It's a really cool place, really cool story on how he got started, and I really encourage y'all to all go check it out. So we will take a quick swig, Andy, in memory of you, of the Edelberry Moonshine, which we did this the other day with Techcom Fish.
Mm. Oh, God.
Here you go.
I don't want to. All right, you know what?
Here we go. It's only 10 a.m.
I'm not no bitch. Oh, wow, that's delicious.
Yeah, very good. They've got something for everybody, guys. If you're a bourbon guy,
man.
If you're a vodka guy, if you're a tequila guy, if you like all the flavorful stuff, we just popped this one open. I really didn't want to open up the whiskeys and stuff yet because once we tap into that, we don't stop.
Dude, this is like really good. You want to have another one?
Huh? Sure. Go ahead, dude.
Dude, I'm
we're
not
welcome.
joking, man.
We're welcoming the
I don't
new
think I've had
sponsor
this
to
one
the
before.
show.
That's so good.
No, I think we did the other night with Roque.
No, we did the tequila one.
Yeah, but we also did that one, but we were already half in the bag. So I don't really remember it, and we kept mixing all of them because Andy sent us so many different ones. We just kept mixing them. So.
Oh, that is delicious. Get this away from me.
You're pass it down. So, hence, give me your take on this whiskey.
Dude, that's so good. I'm literally, dude, so good. It tastes like candy. That's literally what it tastes like.
Like
zero burn, tastes like freaking candy.
No burn at all.
That's scary.
So, y'all need to go check them out. Check out Leatherwood Distillery. We'll be doing a lot more with them. We're actually trying to get back out there this summer, do some episodes from there and just hang out. So, you can place an order. You go to the website, hit them up. hit Andy up, and he'll take care of you. So with that being said, we thank you for, taking part in the show, Andy, and thank you for sending us all the alcohol. I'm sure we're going to consume a lot more. When it's not 10 o'clock in the morning, we've only been drinking coffee. So
I'm going to go running later.
All right, guys. And secondly, Techcom Fish, we got to thank him. We had him here in town last weekend for our annual crawfish boil.
Your driver says you're welcome.
Yeah, your driver says you're welcome. Thank you for coming down, dude. But thank you most importantly for everything you're doing for the show. Y'all need to go check out Techcom Fish. There's not much I need to tell about that. Y'all know we rep them. We talk about them a lot. Huge drop on the 30th.
Very big.
Huge drop. And some unbelievable stuff in the works.
Did you get anything this last round?
So I just got another hat.
Oh, dude, I got the got red shorts, and I really wanted the fucking track shoot, the red one. Mm-hmm. They're all sold out.
Yeah, that one went quick.
Yeah.
Like everything else goes quick. So you really need to go check them out. There's some awesome stuff in the works. When we first started working with them, and obviously we worked with Triarch, we introduced the two, and they've started a project that's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The El Jefe.
El Jefe.
So we've got to see a little bit of it being built. We're not going to give you all the information on it because that's not our job to do, but we want you to make sure you're checking out Triarch and Techcom Fish and see the project they're doing. 300 blackout shorty, 8.3-inch rifle, fully loaded. It will be a gun that'll be ready. So here's the awesome thing. When they drop it, it's shipping to you.
Yeah.
So there's no lead times because they've already pre-built guns. So you get what comes with it, but you really won't have to worry about waiting some of the lead times that other guys are waiting. So if you're an 8.3 fan, which we both are, we both have them. If you're a 300 blackout fan, especially if you're a pig hunter, you need to go check out the gun, see what Triarch and Techcom Fish are doing. So thank you to both of them. Thank you to Techcom Fish for sponsoring today's show. So let's get to it.
Okay.
What's new, Mark?
Nothing.
This is going to be him. Like, I put him on the fucking spot to talk. We don't have a guest. One word. Well, nothing.
Nothing.
Words. Soul.
What, you ever see that commercial with the Skittles? Oh, damn. It's like, what are they called? Berries. Berries and creams.
No, I don't know.
Oh, man. Hopefully somebody else gets that. Hopefully they're laughing. Idiot.
So, crazy couple weeks. It's been busy for both of us.
Oh, yeah.
It's been busy for the show. We've kind of hit a little bit of a lull. We had some cancellations. Got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I guess we need to talk about the shirts.
Oh, yeah? You want to do that?
Yeah, let's talk about the shirts.
I'm super excited about it.
So we're launching 2 shirts. So it's kind of like we're going to start doing this regularly, right? We don't want to intrude on any of our brands that we're associated with, so we're not going to. We're going to try to do some different stuff, right? Obviously, I would never do shorts other than maybe collabing with Roque. Roque, we shall collab together, please. I don't want to do. I wouldn't come out with our own shorts, but we do want to have some shirts out there just for brand recognition and to show as we grow, as we're wanting to do some bigger and better things and travel, and that all takes money, and we need all the help we can get. Everybody thinks that we're in this to make money and that this is literally to pay for the show, right? So to go do these sponsorships, to be able to have all the equipment, to be able to go and do things and to meet more people, to bring more uncommonness to you. So part of that is the shirts. So we've launched 2.
And they're important, too, because there's only 2 seasons.
I don't understand what's happening.
2 seasons, man.
2 seasons of what?
There's boating season,
Oh.
and then there's Christmas.
Yeah.
There's only 2 seasons that exist. It's boating season and Christmas. Christmas season starts the day after Thanksgiving, and then it ends the day after Christmas. And then everything else
wish we still had
is
our boat.
boating season.
I wish my wife was in this room right now to know how much I still wish we had our boat. But anyways, we still have access to boats, so it is what it is. We'll be spending a lot of time on that.
Boating season.
Yes. So with that being said, we wanted to launch some summer shirts. One of the shirts is our Stay Dangerous shirt. You saw it on the logo. You saw the logo being launched. You saw the shirt. That one's for sure going to be in black. It's going to be the Stay Dangerous with our logo. And I wanted it to be kind of like a Salt Life, play on Salt Life, kind of like not making fun of it, but like making fun of it kind of thing. Like, it's like our own thing. I like fishing. I like outdoors, but it was like kind of our own variation. So it's a pocket tee, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
I love pocket tees. If I could rock a Carhartt pocket tee every single day, I would. But so I was like, you know what? Why rock that when we can make our own?
There you go.
And then we have the Miami Vice variation. We're still working out the details on what color we're going to make the shirt, but the logo's set. I just trying to determine on like what we should do. What do you think?
Man, I'm a big fan of bright colors. I think we should either keep it like pink, like a light pink, light blue, white.
So I'm leaning more towards the light blue. with the colors and stuff. It's just like really just screams summer and everything. And I think that would look freaking awesome with I don't know who's talking in the background. She wants to be on the show so bad, but we're not gonna let her. Just stay over there. Just run the cameras.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. You just take a poll out there.
Okay, so we're gonna do a poll right now with nobody else in the room, just us three. So fucking no, fucking worst idea ever. Like, okay, if you mean like after the show, okay, we'll take a poll, we'll put it online. Yeah. For sure. But right now, just us three. So all in favor of light blue? Okay, 3. So the poll is decided. So we'll blast it out to y'all and let y'all decide. We got to decide pretty quick though, because we're gonna get the proofs this week. So I may actually end up doing it in black too, just because. If I could have everything black T-shirts, I would. But I think the light blue with some friggin' like with those new Techcom Fish shorts.
Some THF shorts.
Yeah, fire, bro.
Oh yeah,
fire.
You guys are welcome. Fashion consulting.
Yeah,
here at the Uncommon Line.
Yeah, I literally it's if I could just wear that all the time, I would. Just THF and like the same shirts. Yeah. Right.
Pretty sure you did that last week.
I'm pretty sure I did. I rocked the Uncommon Line shirt with fucking everything. Yeah. Crawfish boil, Uncommon Line shirt. Yeah.
Stains and all.
Stains and all. Again, who gives a shit? I was too drunk to know better. Yeah. So it was a good time.
That was fun.
We got a Triarch together, Techcom Fish together. Had some guys coming to town. That was a good time. So maybe one year what would be really cool is if we did, like a benefit almost, like a big crawfish boil.
Let's do it.
Like an Uncommon Line crawfish boil and did like it to benefit something.
Sure.
And just everybody like beer pong, hacky sack.
Hacky sack. You mean cornhole?
No, but hacky sack too, bro. You never played hacky sack, bro?
I mean, I had hacky sack. I was not very good at it. You just had the hacky sack because everybody thought you were cool.
Yeah, but like, were you that one guy sitting in the corner, like with the hacky sack? Yeah. No. So
anyway. I had it just in case.
Did you have like a really nice one? Like it was like kind of like the weaved type?
Yeah, they're just like hacky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a type you could get at like CC's or Chuck E. Cheese. Like
mine was from a gumball machine.
That's not a hacky sack, bro.
Well, that's what our hacky sack was.
It's a total pothead game, but I mean, it's okay. I support it. I don't know who's talking in the background once again. She wants to be a part of the show so bad. It's like an all way here in the background when I go back through editing. It's just somebody laughing and like talking, and I never know what they say because she forgets that we've got headphones on. So, anyways, so what were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Oh, you're just pointing at me?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go to the questions.
Okay, we'll get there, dude. We'll get there.
Sorry.
So, other than that, dude, I think that's kind of like wrapping up like what we've got going on. Yeah. As far as episodes coming up, just to kind of keep everybody updated, we've got Jimmy Capra for Frontline Leadership, ex-DEA agent, like the head honcho of DEA, like number 2 or 3 in the DEA. Yeah. Was a deputy chief of operations, had some of the largest seizures in DEA history. He's running a leadership company now. We've got him coming on, kind of like continuing our leadership talk. And something I really wanted to shift on that episode and talk to him about is in regards to like the downfall of leadership right now, right?
Yeah.
So identifying the downfalls and realizing that those downfalls start with each individual person, right? Mm-hmm. Like not necessarily from the top. We're seeing a lot of failures from the top, right? But so kind of hitting that and letting him kind of tell his story. The guy served in fucking every branch of the military. He's done a lot, so it'll be a really good episode.
I'm excited to have him on.
And we got some. He's got some books out there. I posted it. I want y'all to kind of go read some of the books and check it out. But that'll be our next episode. You'll get to hear from him and hear his side of leadership. I know somebody that's walking into TG. Anyways, squirrel. So check him out. Frontline Leadership. You'll hear about that episode in episode 33. You'll get to hear some of his story and more. So speaking of leadership, something that was interesting, and one of the questions that we actually got. We can kind of start off the question stuff here. I've got them pulled up. But something that was interesting was like the George Floyd trial, right? Mm-hmm. The conclusion of the trial and kind of our thoughts on that. We could dedicate an episode fully just to that whole thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I will give you my spiel just because I wasn't going to necessarily answer it because I think it was a little bit fresh. But you know what? Fuck it. I think a lot of people are like straying away from giving their opinion. This is my opinion alone. This isn't your opinion. This isn't a police officer's opinion. This is just my opinion. I will say this. Fuck that guy. Like for him, the kind of cop he was in that decision. But something that's interesting is I'm one of the ones that does not agree with all 3 charges.
Yeah.
I believe 100% solely. I watched the entire trial. I watched the entire thing. Literally watched them. I was recapping throughout the night whenever I, couldn't sleep, which is all the time. And reading the letter of the law up there and kind of looking at the things, I thought there's no way he gets convicted on all 3 because they hadn't proved beyond a reasonable doubt, for example, the murder, right? Like he went to work that day with the intent of just, I'm going to kill somebody, right? Was he reckless? Was he an idiot? Was it dumb? Fuck yeah. Fuck that guy. He deserves to get time. He deserves to be held accountable. But for the ones that believe that all 3 charges, like if we're just looking at the letter of the law, right? Take emotion out of it. Take everything else about it. Just take the letter of the law, literally just the law alone, and go, did they really prove beyond a reasonable doubt every single level elements of the offense and statute? They didn't. Yeah. There's literally no way. So what disappoints me is, fuck that guy. He's going to get what he deserves. He deserves to get that. I think there's a lot of liability that falls on that agency for failure to train and stuff like that, which is a whole different other conversation. But I truly believe that we saw a paradigm shift in our criminal justice system. Yeah. With the capabilities of a jury. And when we just saw this juror come out last night, she was interviewed. I forget her name. I was reading somewhere, and I have not verified this, but I've read it in 2 different places. It's media, so take that for what it's worth. But she says she was scared of the rioting and the damage, and that was kind of like the gist of everybody in that jurors, that it was more so if we didn't do this, there was going to be a greater damnation to society. True. Yeah. Right? But it's just crazy, man.
I did not watch the whole trial. I know everybody else was watching the whole trial and stuff. I didn't think that they were going to do the whole conviction of murder stuff, but it doesn't surprise me.
No.
It doesn't surprise me. And more or less, I would say I'm just a little more weary, and I'm going into things more cautious, because if this is the trend that we're now heading in, I'm scared that we're actually going to lose our entire criminal justice system, where now the letter of the law or what people have to be approved by doesn't matter anymore. It goes by what did the masses say. Yeah,
and exactly. Emotion, right?
And so exactly, it's emotion, and emotion does not justify action. But that's what you see all the time is people are basing their actions based off of emotion, and that doesn't do anything. Like you being super, super angry, doesn't cause anything. It happens. Yeah, you're super frustrated and you're angry, but it doesn't, you don't all of a sudden, your fucking arms fall off or, you got fucking cancer now. You're just angry, and only time is going to heal that. So I would just say, because it kind of happened after the Amber Geyer thing, too. But she was just so emotionally distraught in that as well. And I think she just felt so much guilt. And I remember how quickly that got caught out of hand with guys oh, yeah, she was, just the rumor mill. So fast was just everywhere happening. But I would say it concerns me that if we're now basing stuff off of what is the popular opinion and no longer going after the truth, and once we start to not or disregard the truth, you're going to have problems. And now people who think they get into these situations where the truth doesn't matter, that means what happened to you doesn't matter anymore, because your opinion doesn't matter. It's what the masses' opinions matter. And then eventually we find out, well, it's not really the masses. It's a few people who have a whole fucking control over you. Yeah. So
we saw that. I mean,
I would just my true message would be caution, tread lightly, use wisdom, and freaking guard your heart and mind.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've got individuals within the presidency and representatives and stuff giving their fucking opinion on a case that hasn't even been adjudicated yet. That, to me, that's wrong, right? Let the criminal justice system work, right?
Yeah, that's why we have. I mean, that's the thing.
Separation, right?
Yeah, we have our system. Let the state and those guys, yeah, it's a high profile case. Well, guess what, bud? That's your problem. Put your best people forward, and then do what's right by the law. You have to. You just because now you're screwing over other American citizens or other people, because everybody needs to be held accountable, and everybody's voice is important. Everybody's side of the story needs to be held accountable.
Right.
But it's interesting, man. I'm not gonna I would just say we just need to tread lightly.
Yeah.
Very, very lightly and be careful.
Especially moving forward. And that goes for everybody giving opinions and stuff, you know, even us, you know, we have to weigh sometimes what our opinions are. And like I told y'all in the beginning when we first went over this, we had enough facts from the case, right? Because everything was videotaped. Right?
Yeah.
Like you just looked at that and you just go, okay, what the hell? Like,
yeah. It's not, I mean, regardless of anything, it's like one of those things that you watch and like, you're just like, dude, what is happening?
Yeah.
What is going on right now?
And what's crazy is I think the vast majority of cops that really listened to everything and really took into the facts, you know, because I was looking, look, if you're going to convict this motherfucker on murder, okay, prove it.
Yeah.
And if they had proven it, I would have been like 100% done, you know? But the vast majority, I think people that like, you know, we talking to a bunch of different people, were looking at it and going, no, I mean, you just didn't prove it. Like there's just way too much doubt. I mean, just purely factual scientific doubt.
Yeah.
That doesn't take away that from him being reckless, right?
Yeah.
Which is a different statute.
Yeah, it doesn't. But that's why we have the culpable mental space, you know, intentionally, knowingly, you know, reckless or recklessly. Yeah. That's why we have all these things that are built into our system where people have to know this stuff. And I give this analogy all the time with people. I said, you know, this is the problem that we see, I think, as law enforcement officers. Like, let's say I'm just an average person, right? And I'm driving to work and I'm at a red light. And my red light turns to green and I drive and somebody T-bones me, right? You know, F up my car. Well, I get out of the car and I'm pissed off. And it, you know, turns out like, hey, this guy ran the red light. He needs to be held accountable. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, he hit me, right? And everybody's like, yeah, like, of course. Like, yeah, man, I got hit. Now, let's put that in the opposite for us. Let's say it's you, right? You're driving to work, but now you're late. You forgot your phone. Like, you've got another meeting that you're supposed to make to, and you're not going to make to, right? And you're driving to work, and all of a sudden you run on the red light, and now you T-bone somebody, right? Well, now you have all this shit that's happening, and when the officer comes and talks to you, right, you want them to hear your story. You want to hear your excuse, right? So I say it's cops all the time. It's like, well, which one is it? Do we need to listen to that person's story and see what happened with it, or would you hold them accountable by the letter of the law?
Right.
And everybody wants the other person to be held accountable until it's them.
Right.
Then when it's them, they want everyone else to hear their story.
And that goes for general public and law enforcement, everybody, right? And sometimes, you know, I had a chief one time. He's a idiot, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. But anyways, and everybody who knows me knows who I'm talking about. But one time told me, you know, going back to the same analogy, and I will agree with him on this. You run a red light on duty, and you T-bone a light pole, right? Cool. I get a day off. I get a letter of reprimand, whatever. You run the same red light because you were going too fast. You weren't paying attention. You kill a family of 4, right? Your punishment's going to be different.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, let's face it. You killed a family of 4. You were not following the law, so there's going to be a difference. Same thing applies with, like, this guy, right? Like, he made this decision. He kept running that red light. Pretty soon, like, you've gone too far. Well, somebody ended up losing their life, right? And you were reckless in why you did that. But I go back to there's also some culpability to the agency and to agencies who are failing to train, who are failing to provide, information and different resources and downright train their officers better, right? So many agencies, they train to the very minimum, right? Well, it's about time we see this, and everybody wants to talk about criminal justice reform. I 100% agree with you. Criminal justice needs reform. And in that reform, I think it comes down to training. I think a lot of these situations we see could be fixed by training. And Roque and I were talking about it this week, messaging each other. He was getting me all fired up, which I loved. But he goes, a part of it's upon the officer to do that. You're right. It is. For the agencies that aren't providing their officers, it's upon us to train more, right? It's upon us to realize, okay, I have a deficit and I need to train more but that shouldn't be the case, right? That shouldn't be the norm in America right now, where there's a bare minimum that gets met, that anybody can meet this bare minimum and they become an officer, right? And hence why I think we saw these issues with Derek Chauvin. The bare minimum was met, and not much more, and so some of this stuff isn't weeded out,
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's enough about that. Let's get into some of the other questions. I told y'all some of these were anonymous. I'm going to call some of you out just because I know you. But so actually, I don't even remember who sent all these in, so I may not call you out, except the one. How do I get UCL underwear? Well, Bosh, we know who you are, Brandon. So I already answered that. We don't wear underwear.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, some of us do, some of us don't, you know, and I'm secure in that. So I wanted to kind of get into some of the questions. There's some really good ones that I think were really interesting. I know you kind of saw them, but one of the first ones was, would you ever host an average Joe on the podcast? And I don't think he's necessarily talking about average Joe the movement, like the range day types. I think just an average person, right? My answer is yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like especially people that want to better themselves and be uncommon. Like those are the people we want to sit down because their ideas of what they may seek is different than what we may seek, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, dude, I don't think we're anybody special.
no.
I think I'm just an average dude too. You had blow past you by and freaking walking around a grocery store, you have no idea. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean everybody's their own main character in their story, and everybody's got a story to tell, and that story's so unique, whether you believe it or not. So, like, why not? I think that's something that we like to do, especially at the when we host the tactical games.
Yeah.
Like people just come out there and we have them on the show. Like, dude, why are you here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like
you know
some of the coolest stories we've met. You know, freaking just average people just doing above average things.
Yeah.
You know, and what they're seeking in their goals of life, right? So yeah, like to me that's a given. I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know when that would be, but yeah, I mean, for sure, we meet somebody and want to sit down and talk with them through other opportunities and stuff, and just shoot the shit, kind of like we're doing. Sit back and drink some Leatherwood Distillery whiskey and go that way. What are you looking at?
Sorry, dude. I always got like fucking checking my six all the time.
Yeah, well, we got the high ground.
Yeah. Terror stack. Wait, let's go.
All right, so this is an interesting one. Looking to transfer departments, and I'm gonna play this not just specifically to Fort Worth, but to anybody that's in law enforcement. And we did get several law enforcement questions, but anybody that's in law enforcement that's thinking about this, I want you to take kind of like, we're gonna use our specific area, right? And we're gonna put a twist on it for y'all anywhere in the nation, right? But looking to transfer departments, advice on Fort Worth PD versus one of the mid-sized departments around it. So I take it this person's possibly at Fort Worth PD or was looking at Fort Worth PD, and then maybe looking at some of the other mid-sized departments. I'll let you give your opinion first.
Do your research. 100%. Look at the agency. If you find an officer in that area, and just pull them aside and talk to them. You know what I mean? Cops are always going to talk to you and just be honest with, like, hey, listen, I'm looking to come out here. What do you think of your city? What do you think of this? And for the most part, guys are going to shoot you straight. And then I would also do write-outs with every single one of them, and then research into that department as well. Like, what do you want to accomplish there? What does this department do versus the other departments? Because, you know, where we work and stuff, we have sister agencies, and we have vastly different capabilities and mission sets than some of the other ones. Some are more restrictive, some are less restrictive. So you have to decide what kind of place you want to work to. And then also what fits you, right? What kind of department you want to pick a department that's going to dress you or align with your morals and values as well. So we have in our family, I have a bunch of brothers and sisters who are in law enforcement as well. But when I look at them and I look for the agency that they're working for, going to work for, I see that agency aligns with who they are. And so they're very successful in that area as well. Like all of us, all the things that we do, that agency aligns with that person very, very well. Some guys, I've noticed it takes a few agencies to get that figured out, whatever reason that they are. But do your research, man. Do a write-out. Ask questions. You know, find an officer in that area. Speak to them, and make sure you're picking a place that's, you know, aligns with your morals and values. That'd be my advice.
No, I agree. And for this person, like, just hit us up on social media. I think Mark and I can both tell you, like, which ones to stay the fuck away from.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling some of those are going to be the same ones. You know, my experience is this. I came from a larger agency in the Metroplex. You know, one of the big ones, we'll say one of the big four. And I had some really good times there. I met my beautiful bride there. But, you know, there was things that I took and things I saw in growth of the agency and the lack of leadership, not everywhere, okay, that I quickly realized, cool, do I want to spend the rest of my career here and see the failures that are starting to trend? And it came back to like surrounding myself with an agency of like-minded individuals, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get that everywhere, right? But I will say this, the grass is not always greener. It just so happens, and look, we took a leap of faith. We prayed about it, and the door opened up for us, and it was just like, okay, here we go, because I was in a really good spot. Teaching defensive tactics, was a detective in a major case unit, you know, but it came down to like, cool, we're just going to, you know, do this, right? And the door opened up, and so we walked through, and I'm so thankful because I fucking love what I'm doing. I couldn't see myself anywhere else right now. But no matter, for this person, I will tell you this, no matter what you choose, there's always going to be bullshit within the department. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be politics. I don't care what department you come from. Some of them you'll be able to work with, and I encourage you to work with most of it. And then there's going to be things you see that you go, okay, I think that's totally illegal, immoral, unethical, or just doesn't fit you, right, as a person. And I'll add to this, dude, find out the kind of cop you want to be, right? And you're not going to know that until you hit the streets, and you're really not going to know that till 5 years in, right? Am I right? You really don't start getting in a groove of any sort, but at least know in your mind, like, cool, this is my goals.
Yeah.
You know? And don't be, okay, I don't want to say don't be this guy. Don't be the guy that stands up in front of the class the first day of the academy and goes, I want to be a police chief here. No. Start setting yourself up for growth. Yeah. Realize that's your end goal, right? But start identifying the path to get there and the goals along the way, right? Yeah. Sometimes we bypass looking at the short term and think long term, which is cool, but then we miss so many other opportunities that could have got us to where we are going and be way more successful at the end point, right?
Yeah, dude, enjoy where you're at, man.
Yeah,
enjoy the process. When you're in the process and you're in the academy, enjoy being in the academy. Work your butt off. Do it all, dude. Do all the traditions. Enjoy it. Have fun. You know, but have that end goal in mind, right? And then once you complete that mini goal, you go into like FTO. I'm in FTO. Enjoy being in FTO, man. Enjoy the suck. Like, you learn so much about yourself and just how to critically think and how to solve problems. But enjoy that sucks. And then when you get out, and be proud that, you know, you became an officer. But now it's like, okay, now I need to develop my skills, right? And then it's like, okay, what do I want to do next? I want to go there. So start positioning yourself, aligning yourself with people, you know, mission sets that are going to take you in that direction.
Yeah, and I think that, one of my options was an agency or the Air Marshals when I was first getting out of college. Why I applied to the Air Marshals, I have no clue, because I literally have to get drunk to get on a flight now. But a lot of that was short-sighted thinking on my behalf, just trying to get in somewhere, right? Yeah. I just want to get in somewhere. And look, if that's where you're at and that's all you can do, then do it, okay? But I would highly encourage you in thinking about I assume this person isn't in a police department yet, right? So, like, looking at these options and telling yourself, like, cool, this is the kind of cop I want to be, right? This is where I want to go. These are the things I see myself doing, and see if that agency has it.
Yeah.
Because I get hit up with a couple guys that follow us regularly, and they're like, you know, they're trying to jump ship because their agency doesn't have what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't bad. Like, you had to start somewhere, right? And to those people, I say, you know, just because you're going to get a lot of flack for like leaving, right? Everybody's going to think, well, the grass isn't always greener, and you're going to lose a lot of friends. But at the end of the day, dude, like, if the door opens up for other opportunities to like go and better yourself, do it.
Yeah.
Right.
100%, man.
So that's a good question. Here, I'll give it something we need to hit on too is the large size versus a mid-size or small size agency. Right?
Oh yeah.
The larger you go, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I would say like the larger you go, the more politics. But nowadays, it doesn't matter what size agency you're in. There's gonna be politics. And on that note, I will tell you this. And look at it this way. You know, as far as leaders go and management, because you know how I differentiate the two. Sometimes you just have to do the dance, right? Like in the culture we're in right now, you do the dance, you make the public think, hey, I'm doing this dance, and then you make your decisions, right? Sometimes you have no option but to do the dance, right? It's the ones that do the pandering dance and way above and beyond. And I think those, if you're looking at agencies, that's easily to tell.
Yeah.
Like you can easily see that, right? So, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it's all what you feel.
Yeah, it's
large
like,
or small.
it's like, do I want to go to a bigger place? Do I want to go to a small place? Do I want to go to one like a medium spot? It all just, it really did, man. It just depends on like, what are you looking to do? Yeah. You know?
And I'll tell this, I mean, I work regularly with Fort Worth PD. multiple different units within Fort Worth PD. I'm always very impressed with them. They have great guys. Look, you're always going to run into the dude that just hates fucking where he works.
Yeah.
Okay? You could put that guy anywhere. He's going to hate his life, right?
Yeah, that's just the aim. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
dude.
you know, if you're looking at SWAT, Fort Worth PD SWAT team, legit SWAT team. They got solid dudes. It's a great team. Great gang unit, great narcotics. I mean, it's just a really good agency. A lot of their guys now, they love their chief. Some of the, the new chief that's over there, I haven't had the chance to meet him, but you can kind of already tell like the morale. And he came from the ranks, which is huge, right? Came from their ranks, which is big. So seriously, hit us up. We'll give you our opinion. We'll expand more. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and just bash agencies and all that. But if you want to have a candid conversation, hit us up. Hit me and Mark up.
Yep.
You know where to find us, and we'll give you more on that. All right. So this one was I didn't understand part of this question. Most of it makes sense, but backup irons on rifles and red dots on pistols, standards for short lengths, and somebody's waving at you in the background. Oh yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyways, backup irons on rifles, red dots on pistols, standards for short lengths. I'm assuming we'll hit the standards on the short lengths just because I don't understand. I'm assuming like maybe.
Don't want to say like race sights versus like standard sights?
No, it says short length, so I'm thinking like rifle size, right? So 8.3, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, 13.9. I really don't understand your question, so I apologize on that part of it.
No, you hit the other two.
Yeah, but I will tell you on short lengths, it's your preference, right?
Yeah, all that stuff's preference. It all depends on whatever you want to do.
I mean, I think if we're talking law enforcement, I think there's room for 8.3, there's a room for a 10.5. Variable optics, all that, different size rifle. I think it just plays into what your mission set is, what you do for work. So I don't really think there needs to be a standard for short lengths, my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Just, more you make, the better.
Yeah. I think, and then talking about like just like the red, because he asked red dots.
So let's hit backup irons on rifles.
On rifles. I think they're there for a reason.
And I think handguns too, because you kind of put it together. So. Yeah.
They're there for a reason, and like irons are never going to fail you. So it's like just like the contingency. That's all they're there. Like now we make optics that are so well made and stuff, and there are certain optics that don't require iron sights because they have built-in iron sights. So it just depends on what type of optic you want to run. So if like you're running like an Elcan, they have a built-in threaded hair. So when you're looking through the scope and stuff, that's never ever going to go away, and so you can zero that. And that's never going to fade away, so there's no need to have irons because those irons are in there. But then you can turn it into the red dot system.
Yeah.
With any electronic system that you have out there with any of the red dot,
it's gonna fail.
Eventually it's gonna fail. So having extra batteries or having those extra irons on there, like it's never gonna hurt you. It just depends on where you want to run them. And
it's gonna fail at the worst time.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you this. I was telling you a story. We did a rescue just recently on. A couple kids, not going to get in all the details, but essentially a compound in the middle of nowhere. Literally, when I mean like prepper status, water, all that, in the middle of nowhere, we had to traverse a huge field. Didn't know we were going to get that when we got there. So I was up on the gun, going behind the vehicle, trying to clear some sheds as we were walking by to then jump in and start hitting the target. Got up on my rifle, and this is an aim-point T1. Or T2, solid optic. It's nothing. I had nothing wrong with the optic, but here it is. And I change my batteries every 6 months, so I'm assuming I got a bad battery, or I didn't change it. I really don't know, but I have anytime I qual is when I change it. Right. Got up on the gun. Dot was there. Come back down. Get in the car. Get out to take my my corner of the house. No red dot.
Yeah.
So flip my irons up, and I'm good to go. Right.
Yeah.
But just imagine had I needed to take a hostage shot, 25 yards, 50 yards, we have liability, right? And really any citizen nowadays does. So have a backup plan.
Yeah. And then understanding how your irons work too. So it's like if you're going to zero your red dot at, 50 meters or 100 meters, if you have your irons there and you want to zero them at 25, that's fine. Just know your offsets for both of them.
Yeah.
So that's the way I kind of like to do mine. I zero my optic at 50 and then I do my irons at 25.
That is the same. And I'll tell you this. So I think both of our opinion is yes. I think you need them. And even on handguns, I'm a red dot instructor, and I've gone to several red dot courses. And in our policy for our agency, we make it mandatory that you have backup sights.
Yeah, you have. But I mean, if it's law enforcement stuff, for majority of the time, guys are going to be.
But I think if you're carrying a gun, you've got a liability, right, aspect of it. I think you should also have contingencies. I think we need, even the everyday citizen needs to be prepared that if this thing goes to shit, do I have another sight picture?
Yeah.
You know? So I think they're a must. I think everybody should have them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And there's so many things on the market. I mean, both of us, you run Unity mounts, you know, on our rifles. And so it's like, I mean, you want to talk about weight management, like, okay, cool. I just got rid of a front and rear sight, you know, now I've got my Unity mount.
Yeah.
You know,
which that thing's dope as hell, man.
Yeah. So there's a ton of other options out there. So just don't think lateral, think, you know, think big picture. There's other options out there for them. And I understand, like, some people, you know, can't do it all at once. Well, just do it when you can. Yeah. You know, budget wise.
And it depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're carrying, that's great. If it's like competition stuff, then you're obviously going to tweak that. All day long. You know,
I mean, if you're running a competition, different. I mean, it's just a different game.
But I think in general, I think irons are there for a reason. Keep them there. You know, understand weight management and stuff, which you can throw a lot of really cool things on your rifle and like it looks super sick until you're holding it up for more than 30 seconds. You're like, holy shit, this is fucking heavy. Yeah. Vastly different on there. So you start to do like anything else. Like you'll realize weight management, like what's efficient, what's not efficient, what do I absolutely need. And then even us, like I've tweaked mine a billion different times.
You're going to I mean, I now know, like I can go to any gun, right? And I know how I generally want it all set up, right? Yeah. But you're constantly going to be evolving on that because why? I mean, things change in the market, things are coming out on the market, and you're constantly wanting to tweak that for bigger
or just stuff. Like, man, I wish we can run it this way, but there's nothing out there just yet that meets that need of yours. And then all of a sudden something comes out there and it meets that need, and then you'll go and you'll get it, and then it might be like, oh shit, this is exactly what I was looking for. Like, man, this is like 90% of what I want, but it doesn't do the mission set that I want. So I'm going to switch back to my old one because like it's a little more uncomfortable, but I'd rather it be that more uncomfortable because I'm used to it that way, but it still does that function that I needed to do. Right.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm a big proponent of red dots. Every single one of my handguns I carry now, I mean, 99% of them, I'm running a red dot on. It was easier for me to transition because I was always target focus. I never really understood front sight focus. I mean, I did it, you know, I've learned it, but I always transitioned back to target focus. So red dots were very natural for me to pick up, and I liked that aspect of it. I'm not tooting my horn. I just, you know, my deficiency, I guess, were iron sights, right? Yeah. Could I shoot them lights out? Yeah, but just to me, the red dots were just where they were at, and it just butter for me.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in red dots. I'm not as we are in the transition of transitioning over to red dots. I have a red dot that I practice with at home, but as like saying like, hey, I'm super proficient in it. Like, no, I'm a novice, just like anybody else.
And I'm one of those.
I need to learn still.
I'm one of those that I believe like go take a Scott Jedlinski course, Modern Samurai course. Go take these other courses where you're learning about red dots as much as you can before you go out and run them. Right?
Yeah.
Because it is a different ballgame.
It is. No, I mean, yeah, it really is.
And even for me, being target focused, I still had to change my presentation, right? And really, it showed some deficiencies of my shooting, right? So I really think it's helped. Those that think that the red dot is going to make you a better shooter, but you can't shoot with irons, okay, shut the fuck up because it's not.
Yeah, your fundamentals are still there.
Yeah, your fundamentals are still there. And to me, the red dot, what do you mean? Exacerbates that. Like it truly shows, okay, wow, you know, I'm really swooping, you know, or man, there I go flinching. I see that dot go down or whatever, you know. But I'm a huge proponent on it. I think this is where we're going.
Oh, 100%. We're going. A lot of guys. So I also think the understanding of the red dot was vastly different because guys were like, well, it's an optic. I'm looking through the optic, but that's not how a red dot system works.
Right.
So like, well, what if my optic gets all caked up with mud? I was like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's where the dot is.
So the TV just turned off.
So it's like wherever you can bring that optic up with mud on it, and as long as you see that red dot, like you're still gonna hit your target. So understanding like that principle and stuff, and then transitioning into the target focus or like combat or like a combat site picture, it's like I think it's spot on because it's addressing one of the biggest issues that we have when people do get into those critical instances and they get into like a shooting or something like that. Like you're not focused on like your irons unless you train. you're focused on either that person or what's going to cause you harm.
Yeah.
So what's in that guy's hand. So I think we're spot on. I think we're heading in the right direction. I think just like anything else, like it started and then people caught onto it. And now since big industries caught onto it, they're just going to take it and fucking run with it.
I don't know what's happening here with the TV. And our little editor over there is not capturing it. Can you get that fixed by chance? So it's not a big old mountain that I wish we were on, I guess, right now. But anyways, are you going to be able to get that? Put the logo back up there? Cool, thank you. So I think that I don't even think we've hit the pinnacle of where we're going to be at with it.
No, I don't think so either.
Research and all that.
100%. So I think it's something super exciting, and like we get to take that ride with everybody. Yeah. So I think it's really cool. I'm 100% all for them. So
one of the other things, and this was a good question. Instructors to train with in the DFW, Texas area. Oh my God, the amount of people that are coming here to train at the ranges, outside trainers that aren't just in Texas that come here to train, dude, is astronomical. Brittany.
Yeah, I was going to say Brittany May, Fieldcraft, TTPOA, freaking
Gladiator 6 with his company.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. You've got Jonas, Frank Proctor.
I just did a class with Jonas too.
You know, if you're in law enforcement, the amount of resources you have with TTPOA is endless.
Yeah.
And then there's just solid instructors. But here's something I was thinking about when this question asked. Sometimes it takes a lot of money to pay for these courses. I mean, shoot, we look at a vehicle CQB course put on by William Petty. I mean, that's $600.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people don't necessarily have that budget for it. So here's what I tell you to do. Get involved with Average Joe's, right? Get involved with the Average Joe's Rain Day and just find people that are like-minded that just want to go out and shoot. The amount of instruction you can get from other shooters and learning is unbelievable. And the resources you have here.
And I would say not only that, but that builds credibility. So when you do decide to invest into one of these courses, you know, like with Brittany May, like something like that, you're going to get so much more out of her course because it's super applicable. You're getting the freaking best of the best training out there, and you're getting it from an amazing instructor as well. So.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the fact of the matter is the question is instructor to train within the DFW, Texas area. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. You'll see us repost them. Start following some of our pages. Follow the Brittany Mays, the TTOAG, the Fieldcraft, a lot of these legit dudes. Jonas. I mean, there's so many people we could sit here and list. And there's so many different types of courses. The other aspect of it is like, what are you wanting to learn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do you want to learn?
Are you a basic handgun? You never had the experience. Well, I'm going to tell you a different instructor.
Yeah.
You know, are you ready to run and gun? Are you ready to go zero to fuck you real quick? Well, then we're going to have a different instructor for you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good people based here in Texas. You know, you got Gladiator training, Gladiator 6 with his company. Really awesome what he's doing. So it's just vast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to answer that question because there's so many.
I know. I would say check out the Uncommon Line Instagram page. See who we follow. Go refollow them. They're always in the DFW area. Not only that, but once you go follow them, see who they follow and who they're reporting. Triarch Systems, everybody fucking follows them. So just follow those guys, and then just determine from those type of guys, hey, who's gonna give me what I'm looking for. And I mean, I'm not saying they all can offer it to you. There's not a doubt about it, but it's just, again, it's personal preference. And I would say whichever one that is you want to go with, just because they'll have it from basics to advanced guys. But then I would also say, like, if you think you're an experienced shooter, fucking humble yourself. Maybe do one level lower, and then I'm pretty sure those guys are gonna fuck you.
And here's the deal: I've taken basic level courses, and I still go back and learn something.
Oh,
and I mean, fact of the matter is, if we're shooting guns, I'm happy. So it doesn't matter what it is. You could put me in like a beginner's, like, here's your gun.
Yeah.
And I'm
even that's
happy.
Still so good though.
And you still learn something, or you forgot stuff.
Yeah.
Or you've built in bad habits, and you're like, oh God, wow. Yeah. I really shouldn't be doing that,
Oh, yeah.
So there's always something to learn, but seek it out, and it's good that you're seeking it out. I encourage you to keep asking questions like this, and now the next step is just go train.
Yeah.
And take that next step to go there. And I would tell you this: a lot of the companies that we follow, some of them are law enforcement based, because I mean we're law enforcement officers. So you look at companies like nonprofits like TTPOA. A lot of their instructors, yes, they do training for law enforcement, But if you follow some of the trainers, they're doing civilian courses.
Yeah.
So you look at Scott Jelinski with Modern Samurai. If you're looking at red dots and concealing in your waistband and stuff like that, he teaches everyday citizens. I mean, the guy was in finance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his background isn't necessarily law enforcement. So he's got tons of different courses that you can go and see. So just seek that out. And then if not, just hit us up and we'll do some research for you, try to find something.
And then again, Archway, man.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Why haven't I feel bad
Peter.
we forgot about Peter.
Yeah. We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Peter. We miss you. So make sure to check him out. But good question. Yeah. Just take that next step and start training. We already answered the underwear question. So make sure you go check out Vulcan Machine Works and as well, because this next question is from Vulcan. And this was a good question. I was really surprised that Jeremy didn't send us some other sarcastic question. But, so this is a good one. Blue flu, question mark. How bad do you think it's going to get, and where are all the good cops going to go?
I think everybody's coming to Texas, bro. That's why I think everybody's coming, man. This is the last line.
It's the Mecca.
It's right here, dude. This is God's country.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. Personal opinion, I don't have a problem with some of these agencies in the Northeast or where there's issues having the blue flu.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's our calling, and at the end of the day, but at some point, like, when is the voice going to be heard? You need to turn a little bit.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
At some point,
conversation.
The voices need to be heard of change. Hey, we want more training. We're not being trained enough.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. I think it's happening a ton. We're seeing New York City, Chicago. We're seeing officers just leaving. What is it, Baltimore, Maryland? 700 officers.
Yeah.
They're going to have to close some stations.
And the scary part is, man, that doesn't hurt the officers. It hurts the citizens.
Yeah.
The people who are actually there, like good men and women who probably are just like everybody else, who are very confused and like don't know what to think about the entire situation that's going on. Like, they don't want to offend somebody, but like, maybe they're just not uneducated on certain things. And it's not that. And that's why this is weird. That's why it's super important to understand like who you are voting for your city council, for your mayor, for all those things are so important, because they have a direct impact on that police department. So it's not necessarily the police department that has the problems, but it's being what's set down by your city council and your city government, because they're the ones who are actually in control and who are passing all these things and who are in charge of actually that city's department or area. So they're the ones who are in charge. So if you're not happy with the way that your department is doing things, man, I would encourage you to look at like, man, who's my elected official, right? And that's why it's so important for us to have like integrity in our voting and everything else. So we elect the people who are going to represent me. Like, that's the whole point. It's like, hey, we elect these elected officials and senators and congressmen because they are aligned with what I want my community to look like. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think I truly think that I go back to my analogy of a manager versus a leader. Some of the failures we're seeing right now are because we have managers. We have people that just want to pander to the popular opinion, and that flows downhill into our law enforcement. I will say this. When we talk about blue flu, I honestly do not believe what we're seeing. I mean, in some of these agencies, yes, everybody's just like, yeah, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I think what we're truly just seeing are people that are wanting to, that 30-year officers, 25-year officers that are just retiring, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really necessarily think that's a blue flu. I think that's just older guys that are just like, okay, I'm going to leave this to the younger guys. And I've done my 25 years. I'm just ready to retire, right? And you can't fault a guy for that.
No.
That's in his last 2 months of work and just going deuces.
Yeah, he's like, this is not worth it. And honestly, man, I'll be right there with you.
I don't blame him. If I was sitting in 20, 25 years, look, this is my calling. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. My wife will tell you I overwork my ass, especially when I get on certain cases. But at the end of the day, if it was 25 years, I'd be like deuces. And I'm even in Texas, right? I truly believe that we're not going to see yet. Well, let me rephrase that here in Texas, because we're seeing San Antonio PD with Prop B. We're seeing what's happened to them and poor guys down there. I just really don't think we're going to see it happen like it is in other places.
No, not here in Texas. I just
yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's a yet thing. We've got a lot of great things coming our way, but you know, the big thing is that what people have to understand is like, once you start to remove your law enforcement guys from your community, like change is going to happen, but it's not going to be good change, man. People are inherently selfish. Sorry, it's true. You're just yourself. Like, you're going to do stuff that's going to benefit you and you alone. And, you know, that's why it's like, it's so important for I think just everybody to just be like smart and understand like, hey, you have to be fucking responsible. It's not somebody else's job to take care of you. It's your job to take care of yourself. But understanding that once you start to chip away at that foundation of security in your criminal justice system, like, things don't get better, man. It only gets worse. So just, again, guard your heart, guard your mind, man, and get involved. Like, you have to know who your elected officials are. Like, you just, even where you live, like, it's important, man, because that person's representing you, whether or not you know it or not. Like, so get involved, dude.
Yeah. And I truly believe that, like, we've said this before, I don't think necessarily leadership starts at the top. I think if you think that and you think leadership is only at the top, you're an idiot, and I think you're a manager. I think leadership starts from the second you hit that floor in the academy. Yeah. You do have a voice. You are a leader. And more so even as law enforcement officers. If you're a patrol officer, you are your own boss at times. Yeah. So you are a leader. You show up on scene and you're at that domestic, that is your scene. You are now a leader. Yeah. And so this backward thinking of leadership is on the top end from the bottom. It is bullshit. It's from the bottom up. And I think, you know, officers that, because part of this question is, where are all the good cops going to go? I think the good cops are here. I think the vast majority of cops are good. 99.99%. There's a bunch of shitheads, right? There's a bunch of lazy cops. But I truly believe the good cops are still here. I truly believe the ones that this is their calling, they're not going anywhere, that they're going to stand up, and no matter who it is, no matter what leader it is, they're going to still fight. But I can't blame cops in these cities where the lack of leadership is so, it's so big that I just can't blame you. Yeah, good. Do I agree with the decision? No, I don't. Yeah. Like, would I be doing that? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you if I was in their shoes. There's days where I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. I'd be out. Like, and quite frankly, if I was up and it was as bad as, yes, I would be trying to go to Texas. So I think it's a good question. It's a very loaded question. I think we're seeing it in a lot of places, and I feel bad for those cops. I feel bad for those citizens.
It does. Like I said, man, it doesn't just, it affects everybody. And those citizens have family, those officers have families. So it's like, whether or not you realize it, like, just think about that one person who might have been taken away from you or anything like that. Like, it doesn't just affect, you know, that single family. Like, that guy had friends and other family members and people he impacted, and maybe they were on a certain routine, like at the QT or something, and that guy was here, and he's like, oh, dude, like, what happened? You're like, oh, hey, so-and-so, you know, was passed away or whatever, or that officer was killed or whatever. Doesn't matter. Citizen or officer, you know? Like, that impact is so vast and so great. So, but again, dude, you chip away at that and you let that go, like, you're not going to see the changes you want. And
I go back to this. The pendulum is going to swing so far, eventually it won't swing back. Yeah, it'll come back, but it's never going to go back to where it was because there's damage to the swing. And, you know, and it's unfortunate. And I think there's going to be a time of reckoning in these cities, and people are losing their lives because of it. We look at Chicago, you know, we look at the amount of violence because they don't have enough officers. Yeah.
Well, not only that, man, it's the people, it's your citizens. Like, your elected officials are there for a reason. They are elected. If you don't like that, you change that. You, the people, have the power. We, the people, like, understand that. Like,
here's the deal, dude. There's a part of me that's pessimist, and I go, I hope that's the truth, because in some of these cities, I think there's some such dirty stuff going on that I just really hope that's the truth. You know, but we can't control that, and hence why we live in Texas. And so here's my preference. If you come to fucking Texas, though, don't bring your left wing, far left ideology bullshit here. Keep it wherever you're from. Bring the Texas stuff here, and welcome to Texas. And you know, my wife's telling me to have an open mind. No, I'm going to tell you, don't bring your far left bullshit here, and you have an open mind. You have an open mind because you're in Texas now, buddy, and we do things differently here. And I think, I'm so thankful for the agencies we work for. I know some of the cops in some of these other cities have it rough here in Texas, but I tell those cops, like, even look, it's not as bad as these guys up north have it. So, we're blessed for that. So, all right. So did you have anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Our last question, then we're going to wrap up. She's doing a lot of hand movements today.
Hey, man, that's all you, bro.
This is, I need to find another producer. Anyways, thank you, babe. You're the best. I'll never find another one. Jason Monroe, Monroe Media.
Amen.
He's legit. Anyways, so our last question, then we're going to wrap up. And this is thank you to Pinot and Pistols. I think it's Pinot. Pinot.
That's a wine.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir?
Yeah, it's wine.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it's Pinot or
Sweet
Pinot.
berry wine.
Yeah, sweet berry wine. We like a wine.
We like a wine. Sweet berry wine. I love wine.
So, first off, you got to go check her page out. Let me pull this up. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. She's going to fucking hate me for not saying this right.
Pinot Noir?
No, I don't think it's Pinot Noir. I think it's Pinot and Pistols. I think I'm just pronouncing it like I'm from Texas. Pinot and Pistols. Pinot and Pistols. Okay, I'm saying it right. Guys, y'all got to check out Monica's page. She is doing I love what she's doing. I love her page, right? First off, it's not, I'm going to say this, and I hope she's not offended about this. It's not about how, it's not about tits and ass.
Yeah.
She's who she is, and she's putting out a product, and I think people love it. It's wine and pistols. How badass is that? And we love our wine. She's doing an amazing job. You do need to go follow. So this question is from her, and I was giving her shit because I was like, you throw me a curveball. But y'all go follow her page. She's doing some really cool stuff, cool projects, and she knows her wine. She knows her guns. She's very sensible. And I would like to have her on the show. Like a wine tasting thing.
I'm all about
and
that,
then like
dude.
shoot guns. But what's great is like she's who she is. She's uncommon in and of herself. I really like following her page. She's extremely nice. Yeah, so we love what you're doing, Monica. We love the page. Y'all need to go check it out. We love wine, so feel free to send us free wine for the shout out here. Anyways. All right, so her question was, what do you want the public to know about police work that most wouldn't understand?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I saved it for the last one.
That's a good one, man.
She reads a lot.
Shit. It's not like NCIS. And I think, or like Bones or these other shows where people like pull out all this stuff, right? And it's vastly different than what you would ever expect it to be. It's just like one of those things where it's like, you're going to have to experience, man. And it's just like one of those things that everybody's like, holy shit, I didn't realize you guys, they just deal with so much crazy stuff. But again, I think it goes back to the original thing that we were talking about. Everybody wants their side of the story to be heard, and they want to justify to you why they did what they did. So when you run into that, a lot of the stuff that you see is just like emotional-based responses off of things. Like, think about a time where, like, you're like, it's simple, like you're running late to work, and think about how frustrated you are in that moment. And you do those things, right? And then you do something stupid, right? Well, maybe that something stupid that you did had a really big consequences, and then law enforcement got involved with that. So on your end, your justification to that is like, well, I was running late to work and I was so flustered and I just wasn't thinking, and you messed up. Like, ultimately it just comes down to like, you messed up. But now you have this authoritarian figure that comes in and needs to hold that person accountable, right? You crashed your car, you did whatever, you ran the red light, you're going to get a citation. So this is why it's so critically important on the law enforcement side. That officer who just made that contact with you knows nothing about you. He has no idea, like he or she has no idea who you are, what you're going through, what's going on. They
literally just observe
your
behavior
like
at
it's
hand.
just like everybody's like, oh, like you're doing this, you're doing this. Like, no, man, like you're moving too fast. I don't know what's going on. I just saw that you ran the red light. I was like, oh, cool, like sweet, dude. You're gonna pull this person over, right? You can't be blowing red lights. So in that infinitesimal of time, right, you have this authoritarian figure, and then you have this person who wants to justify why they did what they did, and then you have this freaking just influence, this massive, 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 giant live influence that like all cops are bad. They're out to get you. They're dickheads with freaking high fade cuts and like only giving out citations.
We're not all troopers.
And doing all this stuff. And you have like this moment, right? It's this moment in time to make this impact with this person. So you either like listen to their story, which I'm a huge proponent of. You need to listen to everybody's story. But then also you have to hold people accountable. And then getting that person to recognize that, hey, dude, you messed up. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, but I need to hold you accountable for this, right? And so that accountability is a citation, you know, it might be an arrest, it might be something else along those lines. And that's the biggest problem that we see is that as a law enforcement officer, your job is to hold the community accountable. Why is that so important? It's so important because that's the way that our community runs and flows. This goes back to the originality. You run the red light, you crash into that person. Yeah, you were flustered, you were all messed up, but guess what? You have to be held accountable for those actions. Yeah. And that's what the rest of the community is expecting you to do. But it's also vastly important on the officer's end that you need to understand and give a little bit of dignity and grace to that person as well. So like you're doing all these, like you have to combat with all this stuff, right? All this like emotional response stuff, like you feel bad for this person, you know, like, hey, this person really didn't do this really bad, but I'm sorry, pal. Like, you need to be held accountable for why you did what you did. And then also hold up for that other person too, who wasn't doing anything. And maybe that other person's a giant dickhead, dude. Maybe that, and that's one of the parts that's really, really hard. Is like, people are really nasty to each other. I don't care what you say. Like, people are nasty.
People suck sometimes.
They are nasty to each other. There's also some really kindness that goes on too, but people are just really, really nasty to each other in those situations. Like, you fucking did this to me, and you know, I hope you get this done, and blah, 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 blah. And you have to come in there and I'm going to use a key word here. You're going to get pissed, but you really do. But it's very important. You have to de-escalate that situation, right?
Good.
Yeah, you do. You have to.
No, I know.
You have to bring that calmness into it, get people out of thinking of like you're only emotionally based thinking, and then start to think about that logic side, right? Get that logic side going for them, and then get them to understand, hey, man, you're not a bad person. This is it happened. Unfortunately, you have to be held accountable for your self-response or your actions, because that other person, even though he's a dickhead and he was yelling at you, you still need to be held accountable for that. And like that's what you deal with. Like, you can, what if the situation all day long and bring up all the facts and do all this other stuff that's going on, but you're only getting a snapshot of situations, and you have to make the best decision. Yeah. That's why I think it's super important. You know, your gun's not your best friend. Your taser's not your best friend. You know, your fitness is not your best friend. Although all those things are so important to understand, but it's how you critically think. It's how you critically think on scene. It's how you talk to people. It's how you assess situations. It's taking in all this information and being able to filter out what's important, and then applying that. But not only applying that, but making course corrections along those ways while you're applying whatever fucking plan that you're gonna put in action. So like, having wisdom is so important, and that's the stuff that's the two things that I see. It's like, you have the old guys who are just like super jaded for some reason, but then you have new guys who like really want to do that job really, really well, but they're just out there striking citations just because, like, oh well, you ran the red light. It's like, okay, man, like maybe that person doesn't need the red light or ticket. I'm a big proponent of, you know, sometimes soccer moms need the red light ticket, right? But sometimes the guy who's a meth head, who's trying to get off his addiction, who's trying to go to work, who you have a rapport with, who you know who has a couple warrants, and he freaking blew that stop sign and read that red light, he doesn't need a ticket. He needs to be let go, right? Like, that's the type of stuff that needs to happen. That person, that compassion, having that respect and dignity for that person's life. Because what's going to happen is, like, that moment right there might change that meth head's life, where he actually goes and be better. Versus, like, if you write the soccer mom the ticket, like, yeah, she might be pissed off at you, right? But you know she's going to bounce back from that, right? You're going to be okay. She's still going to be able to cope with that your day. You might be the asshole for that day, but you just have to weigh that decision. That's why, like, being critically smart, developing a type of, like what you said, what type of officer you want to be, what type of agency fits your morals and aligns with you. And then again, like critically thinking and using wisdom. We do not preach wisdom enough in law enforcement, and that's what people have to understand. I think people have to understand. You know,
I know, I agree. I don't know if necessarily that was more like a thing to the officer instead of like what would you want the public to know. But
sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think the public needs to know all that. So I think Monica, I think for my answer to this would be there's a lot. And that's why I sent you a message and said, man, this is a loaded question because we could spend so many episodes on this topic. I think the first thing that came to mind when I thought about this was time and use of force. That I want the public to understand about being a cop. You have no concept, okay, for those that are in law enforcement, have no experience with it, they have no concept of time. They can look at a body camera all they want. They can look at what happened on the news, but they have no concept of time. They have no concept of what that officer sees in that moment. The body camera, that sees what it sees. That may not be what that officer sees. That's not a good representation of what the officer may see all the time. For example, your first hit on a house. You're in a stack. What's the first thing? What is the thing you remember seeing?
Back of somebody's head.
Back of somebody's back, right? I remember being in a position stool and just seeing the fucking back of that dude's ass. And then realizing afterwards, like, I literally saw nothing inside this house. And what is that? Tunnel vision, right? And so what affects that? Time, right? How fast are we going? How fast is something happening? And so many people don't have a concept of that time frame, that time in that moment, what happened in that moment and what they're seeing. God, such a horrible mistake, this officer that pulled this taser on there. We talk about it in use of force slippage, right? Split seconds. You can look at that video and go, bad, horrible mistake. Horrible all around. I feel bad for the officer. I feel bad for the agency. I feel bad for the suspect. He shouldn't have had a warrant. Should have been robbing people. But needless to say, horrible mistake, right? But what does it come down to? That split quarter of a second time, right? I don't think the public has a concept of how fast time happens when you're using use of force. I don't think they have a concept of what that looks like in the officer's eyes. And the only way to really do this is to recreate this with force on force and putting the general public through this. Our last agency put a news guy through the thing and said, hey, we're going to do different drills. I want you to shoot me whenever you see the gun. Gun, boom, shoots him. Taser, gun, shoots him, boom. Cell phone, boom, shoots him. Well, why'd you shoot him? He had a gun. No, he didn't. He had a cell phone. Cool. Now, are we supposed to be held to a higher standard of training? 100%. But what are we at the end of the day? Humans. And stuff comes down to time and force. It's never pretty, and it's always fast. And so, for me, Monica, I think that's one of the biggest things that I harp on. And I think because people don't understand the time, how fast things happen, what you see. We can be going as slow. I can hit. It's different now.
Yeah.
We're more experienced. I hit a house, everything. I see everything. But there's times when I'm hitting that house and I know there's a bad motherfucker on the side of that other side of that door. We blow that door off the hinges. We go in there and there's a split second. You have to go, okay.
Yeah.
Slow it back down. Let everything open back up. But what happens if use of force happens in that split second that we're starting to get this? We're starting to get the close in, right? We're starting to get that tunnel vision because I'm so amped up and I haven't taken a breath. What happens if I have to use force in that very split second? It ain't going to be pretty and it's going to happen fast. They have no concept of that. And it's a hard concept to teach. It's a hard concept to teach rookies. Yeah. Had to teach rookies about time and use of force and tunnel vision. It's something that you literally just have to experience. And so I think that's one thing. There's tons of things that, I would like the public to know more about is use of force is never going to be fucking pretty. I don't care what it is. True use of force, right? And time. It's going to be fast.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen like that. And sometimes quicker than that.
Yeah.
And we see horrible mistakes of officers that happen in that. And everybody's lives change. This female officer, you think she didn't go to work to kill that kid that day? No.
Yeah.
Horrible. But what was it? Time and use of force. Just like that. So that's that. Okay, I forgot we had one other question that I do want to answer, and then we got to make it quick. So quick answers because we got to get going. So Monica, thank you so much for that. Make sure y'all go follow her, guys. She's got an awesome page. It's not just about what other Instagram people are doing. Girls that can't shoot. She can actually shoot. She likes her wine. Go check her out. All right. The last question that we had, I totally forgot about it, and I can't find the exact verbiage because I didn't write this one down. But I remember the general thing because I sent him a direct message on it because I truly had never thought about it this way. And essentially it's like, what do you think about being a white officer in today's culture? And call it cliche. I'll give you my answer real quick, and then I'll let you give your answers real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Cliche is this. I wrote back, and I truly mean this, right? I don't think of myself as a white officer. I had never even thought about it that way. Like it hadn't been a thing of like I go to work and think about my race at work. Now, if I was a different race, I can't tell. Maybe they have a different opinion. I truly just go to work and I'm just thinking I'm a cop at work.
Yeah.
So it's very basic for me and very idealistic in that moment of going, okay, I just think I'm a cop. Like I'm not thinking I'm a white cop. Because I think at the end of the day, like badge or not, I am who I am.
Yeah.
You can like it, you can hate it. Like I am who I am. And part of that's my skin. Like if you don't like the color of my skin, okay, cool. I really don't give a fuck what you think, right? Because I'm going to keep doing me and you can keep doing you. So to think that I police because I'm a white officer, I think, and I'm not saying that's how you wanted the question to be asked, because I don't think that's how it was. I'm not trying to police as a white officer. I just don't look at it as race. Yeah. Like, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm, that like to be over cautious or whatever. I'm not trying to, I think you understand what I'm saying. I just don't think about, like when I go to work, I don't think about my race. Right. Yeah. But it's a good question, I think, for a lot of officers. Like in some areas, you may have to think about that. Yeah. Right. In today's culture.
So our jobs are still a little bit different because I'm still frontline doing stuff. So it has crossed my mind a few times, right? You're like, oh man,
like that could be a different aspect of why I don't think about it.
But I agree with you though. I was like, I don't really think about it that way. Like I know I'm just gonna do what's right. Like it's plain and simple. Just do what's right. You're gonna be fine. But those interactions that you have with people,
I hope so.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. But it does cross your mind, man, because like you just don't know. Like, am I gonna be the next fucking Fox 5, story? But it also comes down to like what your city does for you, and then what your department does for you too. Like if it's something that your department's like hammering on, like you have to be cautious about it. Yeah. Like I said, man, we are so blessed and so fortunate.
But I don't think that comes down to race.
No, but I think it's just something that's just it's so forced down people's throats that you just, dude. If you're not in law enforcement, like it cannot not cross your mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it has to be. And I've got stuff thrown at me before and everything else.
Yeah, I think we all have.
Yeah, everybody has. But it's just like, okay, man, cool. Well, congratulations. That has nothing to do with anything that's going on here.
Like you still have a murder warrant. You're still going to jail.
I tell that to people all the time, man. It's like, I was like, dude, I just didn't randomly come find your fucking house in this 3 deep fucking cul-de-sac. I was like, somebody called us here for this reason. I'm here
for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason. Like, I'm just trying to figure out the story. So, again, dude, I would just say guard your heart, guard your mind, use caution, use wisdom, but just do what's right. You just literally, man, if you just do what's right, don't do anything illegal, immoral, unethical, you're going to be fine.
And I really, and to your question, sir, yes, I do believe there are people that have to that consider that. I think there's people that it's truly a consideration for them. I'm just saying, like, I can't expand on that because I really don't use that as a thing.
I know exactly what you mean, because I'm like the same way. I was like, it doesn't matter.
But now I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, well, do I need to consider it? Have I been on the call where the guy goes, you're just arresting me because I'm black and you're a white officer? Yeah. But like even then I'm like, well, this is just fucking dumb. No, I'm arresting you because you got a murder warrant. Yeah. Like that's it. Like I'm arresting you because you did something wrong, right? So I kind of just look at it like it's a non-point it just doesn't. It's not for like.
I think if you let it exist, it exists, and then if you don't, you're like, no, dude, like no one here believes any of that stuff. Like
it's just
dude's a dude just like I'm a dude. Like
like you have a penis, I have a penis. Like we're two men, right? Like it's just that we're two humans, we're two men. This is or whatever it might be. Like it's just I think sometimes we try to make it so fucking complicated.
Yeah.
And so that's why when I got the question, I was like, man, should I be thinking about it? And then at the end of the day, I think to myself, like, no, like I'm just gonna keep doing my job, right? If you're doing it, illegal, if you're doing anything unethical, illegal, or immoral, then you can be held accountable. So, anyways, guys, awesome questions. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, me too.
This is good. So we got some good questions. I'm sorry if I know we missed a couple people, but we couldn't get to everything. We've still got to keep a schedule. So I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Mark, you got anything in closing?
No, man.
All right, guys. So make sure you check out Leatherwood Distillery. Check out Techcom Fish. They drop on the 30th. Make sure you stay tuned to our shirts. If you aren't, do us a favor, share this. Check out our YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe at the Uncommon Line Podcast on YouTube. Check out our Instagram at theuncommonline.podcast, our Facebook at The Uncommon Line, our website at www.theuncommonlinepodcast.com. Check it all. Hit the subscribe buttons, everything, turn notifications on, do all the bullshit that you need to do.
Buy the boating T-shirts.
Yeah, buy the boating T-shirts, all of them. Those are going to be dropping soon. Guys, if you want us to do another episode like this, hit us up, send us a direct message, let us know, give us feedback on the show. We really appreciate it. Remember, stay safe, stay switched on, and stay uncommon.
I'll throw the first punch, 'cause I've kept my mouth shut for far too long.